If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you'll know that we like to practice what we preach. That means driving cleaner, greener, safer and smarter vehicles on an everyday basis. And there are lots of people who cover this segment who don't do that. They still drive around in gas-guzzling SUVs, or they have regular internal combustion engine vehicles. And while thankfully an increasingly large number of people who cover the segment are actually owners of those vehicles as well, we pride ourselves on the fact that everyone who works full-time at Transport Evolved, everybody who is involved with Transport Evolved, has got some kind of experience in an electric car or happens to own one themselves. So in the fleet, obviously, we've got Kate, Walton Elliott and her partner. They have a Kia e-Niro and they also have a BMW i3 Rex. Kate is also in the process of converting her car, her Morris Minor, to electric. Then we have Erin, who recently went from a Honda Accord that was sadly stolen, and with your guys' help, went to a 2016, I think it is, Chevrolet Bolt, which is a range-extended EV, for those who don't know. And of course, I have owned a number of electric vehicles over the years, including a couple of Nissan Leafs, a really weird City L three-wheeler. I even had a G-Wiz for a while. We've also owned a Chevrolet Volt when we used to live in the UK, and since we've been over here in the US, we've owned not one but two Chevrolet Bolt EVs. And documenting our ownership experience is part of this channel. You know, we try and honestly represent what goes on as a part of ownership of those vehicles. We don't get any special treatment. We never have. Hopefully we never will. We give you the honest to goodness what it's like to own the Bolt EV. And a lot of people have criticised us in the past because nobody on the team currently owns a Tesla. And a lot of people have criticised us for that. And a lot of people regularly trash talk the fleet as it currently stands. And last week, you would have seen a video from us in which we talked about the Bolt EV recall, which was to address a problem with the LG Chem battery packs that were originally made in South Korea by LG Chem for Chevrolet to use in the Bolt EV. They were the same essentially as the battery packs that were used in the Hyundai Kona EV. Both cars, the Bolt EV and the Kona EV, have had a few documented instances where the cars have caught fire while being charged or after being in a full state or near full state of charge. Hyundai have pushed out a software update to address the issue, and Chevrolet has pushed out an update for the 2017 through to certain 2019 model year Bolt EVs. I say certain model year Bolt EVs because that means because they changed the Bolt battery pack source. So I think it was in 2018. It went from being made by LG Chem in South Korea to being made by LG Chem and Chevrolet working together in a factory in the US. By the way, if you're watching this, this is completely unscripted, which is why there are more ums and ers than you would normally get. And it's going to be a single camera take, partly because of what I'm about to tell you, which has occurred in the last 24 hours. Obviously, it is Thanksgiving week. We're rushing to get extra videos out. And so today's video is an impromptu video and an update on what's been going on with our Bolt EV. So last week, my partner and I went to our local Chevrolet dealer and we had the temporary fix applied to our Bolt EVs. That basically removes the Hilltop Reserve from the software and removes the ability for you to charge past about 95% state of charge. Some of you asked, what else we noted after that upgrade, and that's one of the reasons why we're making the video. There was a noticeable change to the amount of regenerative braking that you can use on the car at that high end, but I think it's probably comparable to that regenerative braking that you would normally get at 95%. And as I say, I normally only would charge up to 90%. as I live up in the foothills of the coastal range in Oregon, and therefore we're at 850 feet, which is what, 200-ish meters, I think. And so therefore we kept a little bit of reserve so we could regen as we went down the hill. We were at 90% charging, now we're charging to 95%, which we have no choice over because of the update. And so that regenerative braking change may just actually be normal, and I'm only just noticing it because I'm only now charging to 95%, if that makes sense. Both cars had the update. They were fine over the weekend, and then yesterday, my wife's Bolt EV, which has, I think, about 87,000 miles on it, popped up a warning message. And we called OnStar last night, and the warning message was I think it was P0AA1, which, based on what I've been able to do looking online, is an issue with the battery, the traction battery. Some articles I've looked at seem to suggest it might be something to do with the main contactor. Others were less sure, but I'm not a Bolt EV expert, so I'm going to leave it to the experts at the garage. We dropped the car off there today. The dealership was not able to look at the car today. They are going to do that tomorrow. So hopefully in a future video, we'll be able to tell you exactly what's going on there. That's one thing. I am not sure if the update caused that problem, but it seems strange that the car just randomly went wrong after having that update. What's even more frustrating is we had torrential rain earlier today. My wife had to take our dog to a hydrotherapy appointment, and on the way there, in my Bolt EV, which has 50-something thousand miles on the clock, it threw an ABS error. And my wife told me that it was shuddering, as if someone was applying the brakes when she herself was not braking. Then a whole bunch of warning lights lit up. I got an OnStar message saying, hey, there's a problem with your car. That's how I know about it, because I then rang her up and went, what's going on? Anyway, the ABS is apparently broken on that car. Now, this is frustrating because last year, in September 2019, we had a complete ABS failure. At least that's what it felt like. I had to have my car towed to the dealership. They replaced 2 ABS sensors under warranty because the car was still then under warranty. Since that point, I've added another 20,000 miles or so. I've driven it to Austin, Texas. I've driven it to California a couple of times. We've driven it to Las Vegas and back. And today it's now got that ABS error again. We don't know at this point if that ABS error is the other 2 sensors packing up or if there's something else at fault, whether it was the replacement or something like that. So we now need to book that second car in to also have it looked at. Now, the likelihood of both of our Chevrolet Bolt EVs deciding to throw a hissy fit less than a week after that battery upgrade is probably just coincidence. Probably. It's very badly timed coincidence, and because my Bolt EV is out of warranty and my wife's Bolt EV is out of warranty, I'm not probably going to get that brake repaired under warranty unless it is the same sensors that were replaced last time, in which case I probably could argue the point and get it replaced under warranty. I'm going to keep you up to date with that. I asked the dealership how much such a thing was going to cost. They said it was going to cost $126 to diagnose the car, and then approximately $600 if I wanted 2 new ABS sensors. They weren't able to quote me that directly because obviously they don't know exactly what's wrong. The fact that the ABS lights have lit up like a Christmas tree probably means that there's something going on there that is not good and needs to be fixed. Like I say, it is probably just coincidence, but I'm curious if anybody else who's had that Bolt EV update has noticed their car behaving a bit weirdly. Another thing I did check for, because it's winter right now, 12-volt batteries on electric cars are notorious. They tend to fail after about 3 years. Both of our cars are 3 and a bit years old, so it's about time for them to start dying. I did check the 12-volt battery on my wife's Bolt last night, and it was fine. I haven't checked the one on my car, and it's a potential problem that the 12-volt battery, if it's not happy, can throw error messages. I don't have the car right now, so I can't look at it, but I am going to plan on having a look at that 12-volt battery to see if that is the problem. Now, why am I telling you all this? I know, I can see the comments now. Half of the comments are going to be, we don't care, and half of the comments are going to be, well, you should have bought a Tesla. Like I say, we are documenting our ownership experience. Kate Walton Elliott documented the issues they had with their i3. She's documented all of her ownership experience. I'm sure that Erin will do the same thing with her Volt. And this is about being realistic about cars. Now, for a car that has 86,000 miles on the clock, my wife's Chevrolet Bolt EV has been really good up to this point. That warranty, that problem with the battery or the contactor should be covered under warranty because it's part of the EV drivetrain, whereas the brake issue for my car, well, it probably won't be. So it's going to be an expensive holiday season for us. However, if you consider the cost of ownership up to this point has been really low, we haven't had to pay for any major repairs on my car, period, because everything that has gone wrong with it, which is the ABS problem and then those squeaks, which we still haven't got to the bottom of, that's all been covered under warranty up to this point, or the dealer has made good on its promise to fix it, because with regard to the squeaking, that presented itself just before the warranty expired and it was intermittent, so they were like, yeah, we remember you telling us about this before the warranty expired, so you're good. I don't know what's going to happen from that point onwards, but like I say, up to this point the cars have been very reliable. We've driven them, both of us have driven them across America pretty much. I've driven from north to south and then across the bottom. My wife's driven hers all the way to Missouri and back last Christmas in the snow. So we are not worried about this, and considering the number of people who talk about problems that they've had with their Tesla and everything else, I think honestly this is just an everyday part of car ownership experience. So this is an update to tell you where we're at, what's happened and what's gone wrong. We will be back to normal content tomorrow. We do have some great stories. That plug-in hybrid article is almost finished and would have been finished had my car not decided to throw a tantrum and in the rain. But that will be coming later in the week. We've got some other great videos planned for over the Thanksgiving period, assuming we get them all edited and out the door by this time tomorrow, because I've been banned from working on Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. But I do have content for those days, assuming it's all edited up. Anyway, thanks to everybody who has watched this. If you have any comments and questions, please leave them below. Like I say, if you are a Bolt EV driver and you have a similar problem, please let me know, because I'd love to know if that is an issue that you have encountered as well. Thanks to the folks scrolling by on my right. They are our charged up patrons. You can join them yourself by going to one of the links below. There's also a link to Ko-fi or Bitcoin. I don't have my script, so I can't remember the names of all of the $50 and $100 a month patrons, and I don't want to mangle names and make myself look like a fool, but you know that we really, really appreciate you here at the channel. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, keep evolving.